Hello petrolheads everywhere and welcome to episode 20 of V8 Stealth Beetle. I have trekked out to the beautiful Lincolnshire countryside in the UK to meet Carl and Yvonne, who are putting together one of our very first chassis and component kits for the V8 Stealth Beetle. More from Carl and Yvonne later. Coming up in an extended episode, we bring you up to speed on our latest build going to the States, we explain how we weld the aluminium chassis, and we show you some of our tricks for turning an old Beetle body into a V8 Stealth Beetle body. But first, our latest left-hand drive vehicle en route to the States. In the last episode you saw us collect the vehicle, strip her and start the body preparation process. That is now complete, and at the same time we've built a chassis and engine cradle to sit under her. Before she heads off to the panel shop, we do a mock fit to check it all goes together, and our latest member of the team, Bradley, gets to work welding various bits, including the engine cover frame. There's something rather beautiful seeing her in this raw state with no makeup on, the old fused along with the new. I'm sure if Ferdinand Porsche is looking down from that workshop in the sky, he's smiling now. Sorry, back to reality. Pia is hard at work on the electrical loom, making sure everything works before it gets installed. This loom is actually for a chassis and component set heading off to Durban in South Africa next month. So, how easy is it to assemble and weld a chassis? We do get chances occasionally asking for the plans, but I'm afraid that ain't gonna happen. Let's have a look. Before welding we need to assemble the 38 individual pieces. Each piece is scrubbed with a mechanical wire brush to remove harmful hydrocarbon oxides, test fitted, and then assembled on the welding jig. As we've mentioned in previous episodes, at V8 Stealth Beetle we use aluminium alloy 5083. It's known for its excellent performance in extreme environments, as well as retaining exceptional strength after welding. 5083 is typically used in shipbuilding, rail cars, vehicle bodies, tip truck bodies, mine skips and cages, as well as pressure vessels. An interesting fact is that its melting point is 570 degrees Celsius, or 1058 degrees Fahrenheit. TIG welding high-grade aluminium is an art, and our artist is Tony. This time around he welded 3 chassis in a row. It took him 3 days, a total of over 300 individual welds, each ranging in length from 50mm up to 150mm. It's important to ensure when welding aluminium that every surface is thoroughly cleaned. Your equipment is set up for aluminium, your gas flow rates are correct, and you use the proper filler wire. Tony likes to use an inline weave or shuffle technique. He welds in different areas of the chassis to minimise the heat buildup, which could easily warp and ruin it. And once he's done his magic, this is what you're left with. Nice one, Tony. Tell me a little bit about yourselves. I know that you're 2 petrolheads, which is amazing. Why the Stealth Beetle?
For me, I was looking for a little something to do. Had a bit of spare time. Well, I thought I had a bit of spare time. And I come across this on the old YouTube, and I thought that's brilliant. I mean, I've always sort of admired the Beetle, but the things that people were doing them were just the same old. And saw this, I thought, no, that's totally different. Yeah, I want a piece of that, and I'm glad I have. You know, it's a long time coming, but once it got here, it sat in my workshop for a little bit, and we finally cracked it open, didn't we? And started on it. Luckily for me, I am a mechanic by trade anyway, so absolutely wonderful. Absolutely loved it.
And Yvonne, I see you're also getting stuck in and bolting bits on, and have you found it?
It's really easy. I mean, I only know the basics. I can just about service my own car. Carl is teaching me as we go along, which is good, so I'm learning all the time. But I mean, even for me, it's just so easy to put together.
It fits very well. The alignment is very good, spot on with the design, the build, the quality. Well, there's nothing else out there like this.
It's very well made and very well put together, and you can tell it's just solid, isn't it?
Oh yes.
So you're putting in an Audi V8. You told me earlier that you're going to turbo it.
Yes, we are going to turbo it. We did look down the supercharger route, but the ones out in the market at the moment that I've found were a little bit pricey, really. So the turbo is the cheaper option. It's the 4.2 ABZ engine, which is a lovely strong engine that can cope with the turbos, so which is quite good.
And you've got a donor vehicle.
Yes.
What's the story there?
Well, that we were looking on the good old eBay, found it where it was an abandoned project, wasn't it? And that's it. So we liberated it to put it back on the road. So so that'll be the next big bit. Once we've built the chassis, is then to beautify the body.
Certainly look forward to keeping in touch with you guys. Helping with any little things that we can from our side. And getting lots of photos, and hopefully when I'm back in the UK we can pop round and see how you've progressed.
Yes, definitely.
Lovely.
Cool. So how do we go from this to this? Jean has created a stunning fusion of old and new, a 1930s design fused with 21st century technology. His aim has always been to try and stay true to the original's dimension and proportions, to work within the boundaries of Mr. Porsche's original vision. Here is just some of the details he's developed to make this transformation possible. Obviously there are some big modifications and some not so big. The complete front wheel arch and spare wheel holder section must go. We've got 10-inch wheels, BMW suspension, McPherson struts and a radiator to fit in there. Next, the front firewall goes. This is a crucial safety element for us, as well as giving us space to fit the new wishbones and pedal assembly.
When you've cut that firewall out, there's a stiffener sitting here, an identical one on that side. These have to be removed as well. The reason for that is when you bolt your body into our aluminium chassis, you're going to be bolting through here, and this is going to be in the way.
Simplicity, clean lines and functionality are all epitomised in our unique dashboard modification.
The old dashboard has been removed, the new one has been put into place. It's just been tacked at the moment. You can decide how you want to attach it proper. You can either run full TIG or MIG welds and then grind it away. Obviously that's your decision.
Owners who build their own vehicle might well want to retain the original dash. That's fine. Our supermodel, however, is on a fat-free diet and she's a non-smoker. And now to a few more subtle changes.
On the donor body, you've got these little tabs sitting in the engine bay. These were used to hold the soundproofing inside the original Beetle. You definitely don't need those anymore, so we cut that off with an angle grinder. In the factory, we remove this strip, we clean this sheet, we shape it, so that the exterior of the car, the color that you're putting on the outside of the car, follows all the way in here, all the way up onto this member, and then we fit carpeting between this and the ceiling, and this looks beautiful on the inside of the car. On your donor Beetle body, you will find that there's a return, a little metal edge along this edge here. This was used on the original to hold the carpeting across here. We remove it completely because then we're able to put a much nicer and more expensive carpet on this sole. On these little clamps, they are used to hold the original upholstery in place. We don't use that on the Beetle because remember, from here you've got an engine bay. It's not the inside of a Beetle anymore. So what we do is we take these, we bend them at 90 degrees and we grind them away.
When turning a 30 horsepower flat 4-seater into a 420 horsepower V8 mid-engine 2-seater, you can imagine we go to town on the rear modifications.
When you work here, this section from here back is engine bay. You've got a firewall up here, you've got a chassis plate coming in up here, So this is not visible at all. So you can decide how carried away you want to get on this. This section has now been cut all the way up here. You can see how it's been loosened at the top, all the way back. The only reason we do it this way is the next step is going to be so much easier. Once you've removed all this seam sealer, is to look at these spot welds. That's the only thing that's holding this panel on. But we cut this into pieces. And then what we do is we take each one and we bend it backwards and forwards, and it will snap straight on those spot welds. The smaller the pieces, the easier these spot welds will shear. They only have strength working as a union. The moment you separate them, they've got almost no strength. So then you've done that cut, take all this and all the way up here and break it off so that this panel is missing. On this top section, we have exactly the same scenario. The only difference here is you can't see the spot welds because the spot welds are sitting at the back. Only cut into this sheet. This sheet is sitting like that. It's a curve. Here you can see the different ones. You can see they've just sheared straight off, and then you can clean this section up. Don't cut this off, don't remove it, this stays.
So how do you know where to cut the rear wheel arch? Tell us, Jean.
You want to find where your wheel sits within the car. So from there to there, this is the center of where your wheel, your back wheel sits. That distance from the center of the wheel to the front of the body is 470. You want to bring that line across, then staying at 90 degrees to the body, scribe or mark this circle that you are going to be cutting out. It's as simple as that. Once you've got that line, that is where you're going to climb in with your angle grinder and you're going to cut all this away. This is the section that you have now cut. Obviously we've done it already. So when you remove this, you're left with this arch. You would have cut this vertical line and you would have cut up to here, and then this curve would have come all the way down to somewhere along here. So what we need to do now is we need to create a small recess for the chassis to be able to slide into. There you can see how the chassis and the body meets.
And so, when you've gone crazy with your grinder, it's time to mock fit the body to the chassis. This ensures correct positioning and eliminates panic when your supermodel body comes back from the panel shop looking all beautiful.
When you've placed your body onto your chassis, it's very important that the body is all the way against this firewall and that the body is all the way down onto the floor.
And then there are things we learn from building the vehicles. This is a new mod that will be fitted to all new cars, making life much easier when installing and doing any major work on the engine. Jean has also had to devise ways of not only attaching the body to the new chassis, but doing it in a way that maintains strength and rigidity.
This gives strength to all that, but also this and this, the body shape, gives strength back to the engine and gearbox cradle. So this is a very important bracket. If you intend to put the double exhaust into the back here, you would have to close obviously the two original holes. When you decide to go down this route, the first thing you'll have to do is you'll have to remove this panel. It's a heat shield that originally sat in the Beetle. You would obviously measure the center. You look at your diameter of your two pipes, you can position them there, and then you'll have to put a sheet of metal in here. This has not just been cut out. If you look there, you'll see that it's at least 2 inches wide, and that skin sits all the way there and all the way back, and it's welded shut, and then this can be cleaned up by the panel beaters.
Just for your peace of mind, if you buy a chassis and components from us, you will receive a full 1-hour video explaining exactly how to cut and prepare your donor body. I think you'll agree, it's been a busy month. A new chassis getting ready for Durban, our USA car losing weight and getting a new undercarriage, And finally, to end this episode, we took her off the chassis again, placed her on what we call the rotisserie, and sent her off to Kubus, who's ready to do his magic. If you've enjoyed this extended episode, let us know in the comments section below, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon for notification of new episodes, and share and tell your petrolhead friends all about us. But for now, we must say au revoir.